Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for today, the 29th of October. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. Sometimes it's us. It was really close again yesterday. 388. This is top 100 in the forget if it was the three or the main. But either way, a little bit frustrated with this lineup. Can you figure out why? Brunson missing like 6 minutes to injury. Scotty Barnes missing like 6 minutes to injury. That's most of the reasons. 12 minutes gone. Oh, right. And Risochet lost like 5 to 10 minutes to foul trouble. But honestly, when you're a guy who plays like that with so many stocks, you get in foul trouble sometimes. It's part of the bargain. You just got to know it's coming. And I'm fine with it. I don't care about that one as much. I do care about the random injuries to the guys who massive point per minute guys. Just give me those minutes, man. 11 more minutes from it could have been over 400. I could have been up there with Bryce. What's going on? So I have been noticing that Bryce Morrow is on a crazy run. Congratulations. Um, we'll talk about this. I'm trying to figure out if the RPS guys are actually onto something, and most of what they do is make picks, right? So I think that's kind of what I want to add is a layer of like, can this guy actually smash the ceiling, win the actual like competition for me? Because sometimes I'm not sure like, should I leave certain players in if I'm using that well enough? Oh yeah, and then of course, obviously the reason I'm frustrated from yesterday is because Franz pretended like he was going to play and then only played a half and didn't play that well, and Paolo absolutely smashed. And if you remember from the show yesterday, what did we do with Paolo's projection when we assumed that Franz was out? Well, we put it through the ceiling. And so congratulations to those of you who are still on it. I saw Milk did really well as well yesterday. Do me favors on our Discord. Also today, because I've been enjoying FanDuel so much, they haven't actually sent me any money. But I am saying that this show is sponsored by FanDuel Face Off Jordan Spieth's Fairway Frenzy because I really enjoy playing it, and I think you can too. It's free, and you can play other people for money if you want when you get the freemium BS, you know, streak stuff. Anyway, I like FanDuel right now, so I'm going to plug. They've made it easier for me to log back into my free game again, so I'm playing it every day. All right, so on to today's slate. We've got a bunch of rules. Let me start there. Don't look yet. I haven't looked at. Actually, yeah, I did this already. So the rules are for today. We're starting on FanDuel because, like I said, I mean, they're being the loss leader right now, basically, right? So I started, my becoming a professional at this by being sensitive to overlay. And yesterday there was massive overlay for next week's Monday NBA slate. So anyway, I got a few tickets to that. And just look at what they do tonight. They're going to open something a couple hours right before it. It's meant to have overlay, and oblige them. Just give them a little bit of money with overlay. That's the satellite strategy, and they're trying to make it easy to do that. It's been years. It has not been really going maybe high dollar stuff. But anyway, so I've got Golden State rules galore, but we'll start with the non-Golden State rules. We'll start with Zion gets in foul trouble. Zion gets in foul trouble. We've got Missi and Theis, and no more than one of them gets there. I don't know if they go Missi. I don't know if they go Theis. It depends on what they think about the big on the other side, which could be Looney, could be someone else, could be Gary Payton. If it's Gary Payton, we probably see Missi. If it's Looney, we probably see Theis, right? Like the matchup differences. So that's where I'm going there. I've got a lively Gafford fork. I've got a Claxton Clowney fork. These are just guys who are splitting their minutes right down the middle. So if one of them gets in foul trouble, the other one is likely to smash. TJD and Looney, same deal, except I mean, who knows what they do? Go small is another option. You can include for both Dallas and Golden State from last year. We have rules built in for going small ball. They could do that. I don't think Dallas will because they're playing against Minnesota. And if you go small ball against Minnesota, that's fine. Nas is going to kill you. So I don't think you can do that. And I think you got to match up with Nas. And then Golden State could though. I mean, you gotta careful about Hawkins, right? I mean, no, there's no equivalent guy coming off the bench for New Orleans. Let me just make sure, right? You got the starters, but then off the bench, there's nobody you have to respect. No big guy you have to respect. So if Golden State, I talked myself into it. I've talked myself into it. It seems reasonable to include that Golden State small ball rule from last year. So if you want to go ahead, I just don't. The thing is, like, they haven't really shown me they want to play Gary Payton that much in that capacity this year. Like, did I have that game up? Golden State, Golden State. No, that's not New Orleans, Minnesota, Golden State. So did they have Gary Payton at subbing in at the five? I guess they did. No, Looney came in at the five. And then Gary Payton without Looney. Gary Payton comes in for Kuminga, though, not for. No, he came in for TJD. Okay. So in the second half, they went Payton at the five for 8 minutes. Well, Looney comes in, so 4 minutes of Payton at the five. So they have done it. It's in the range of outcomes. They do it again. They didn't like it, obviously. They did it for 4 minutes. And well, how were those minutes? I mean, I can't tell the whole. It was a -2 for the whole stint, and it was a -2 for Looney, so it was even. So, okay, who knows how that stint was? They might do it again. Probably not against the Clippers. I mean, they didn't like it that much, and I assume that was subbing out Zubats. Is no, that was against Zubats. Weird. How did that not hurt them? Anyway, so they can do whatever they want, and I don't really know why they would do one thing or another. Okay, other rules. You can include the small ball rule, but I don't. Oh, when that happens, you've accidentally made that rule happen every time. So make sure the star is never happening unless you mean it to be that way. So I've noticed with Minnesota, you got kind of three shooters, right? Or three guys who can pop off and get extended, and they're not really in the same role. And that's why it's a little weird to figure it out. But my current new rule is so Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Conley, and Divincenzo. So Conley and Divincenzo, we were already having in a rule together. But nah, if he comes off the bench and gets really hot, he can squeeze both those guys out, right? Like they don't really need somebody besides Antman to handle the ball. They can just have Antman be point guard and he can kick it to Nah if he's hitting shots. So I think it's basically one of those three guys who has the upside. So I made it a 1 out of 3 guys, and they all have upside now. Like particularly, I think it's on DraftKings. Yeah, you can't really play Conley on FanDuel, I think, but one of the sites you can play Conley with some amount of confidence now. He's come down in price. Yeah, he's not possible really on FanDuel. You can unclick him and McDaniels if you want. I don't imagine they're taking up much of my pool though. Yeah, 2%, 1%. I mean, it's just they're not really vibe. We've got good plays. Why would you play bad plays? Other rules. So yeah, the kind of going big. That's where you've got Moody versus Payton, right? Because Moody is like a small forward and Payton is more like a power forward. And that's really what I think the fork is, right? Like they're going to have the same guards in the rotation and they're going to have Looney and TJD. But then it's just a matter of like maybe they do a kind of going big against New Orleans because I don't know. Like both of those guys are pretty big. Missi could really dominate Gary Payton still, even though he's the tinier of the two with him and Theis. He plays tinier. I don't actually know their sizes. And then you got your Minnesota Bigs rule. Don't need to go over that at this point. We're always going to play a bunch of Nas. We're always going to play a bunch of Gobert and Randall. They're always underowned because people they split the foul trouble cases, and they don't think to parse those out. So you need to have a fair amount of them. DiVincenzo, yeah, I think we got all the rules now. Oh yeah, stars for New Orleans and Golden State guards, 2 out of 4. So the 2 out of 4 were Healed, Podz, Moody, and Payton. And so this is just kind of who pops off. I can't really say who it is. Also, it's a little bit of blowout control. Not really sure that Golden State's going to stay in it. I mean, they could. One thing that SaberSim thought is that maybe they play how many people? They got a lot of people here that they think they could play. 11. I think they probably only play 9, maybe 10. Beekman and Lindy Waters. Lindy Waters has played in the NBA before. I don't know that Beekman has for sure. So I can't tell you who these guys are, and they're not in my player pool because we got options. We got options today. I'm easily even leaving $200 on the table, which you don't have to get cute, right? Like this is still 8 teams, so it's a number of dudes, right? Like how many dudes? 8 times 15. Yeah, 50, no, not the whole roster's in play, like 7 or 8 dudes. Let's say 8 it's more like 7 dudes per team. So 56, choose 8. Nah, 56, choose 8. Yeah, it's a big number. We're more like billions than we are like millions. So you don't have to really, it feels like it's a short slate, but it's not like there's 2 or 3 games. We've got 4. It's okay. There's lots and lots of options. Let's look at our like leverage plays already with the BS I've been telling you. We're gonna have maximum leverage plays just by noticing. Yeah, I think Sabonis and Fox in a competitive game get more than 36 minutes. I would put a fair amount of money on that, and I'm going to tonight. I think they're going to play 39 to 40 minutes, unless they get in foul trouble or whatever, and those are not the cases you care about. Other people who are way underprojected. Yeah, right. We got a few of those too. Schroder is just underprojected. Basically, again, all of Brooklyn is being underprojected for minutes. Like Clowney 22 no, 24 to 6. I mean, because we know the other thing is over projected is Claxton. You can think about like he's at 28 minutes. He's been going like 18, 22. So if you were going to do the next tick on his minutes limits, I don't really think I'm on Claxton today. I think his next tick on a minutes limit is like 28, and I put those minutes to Clowney. I think Clowney's the play. Um, I mean, he's obviously not the better player, but I think he's the play today. Cam Thomas, you got to boost him. Like this game is going to be close. They've only had a few close games so far. If this game stays close, it stays close because Cam Thomas scored about 30 or 40 points. So that's all there is to it. There's not other options for this team. Schroder could score 20 points. Cam Johnson could score 20 points. The only one of them that can score 40 points is Cam Thomas. So that's what I mean. Like what I was thinking about earlier. How can we apply like Run Pure Sports actually doing pretty well recently? Is there like something from their method that we can try to cook into our method? And this is maybe where you do it, right? You maybe unclick Dorian Finney-Smith. Because what's the upside? I mean, what is this? This is FanDuel. I'll leave him here because his upside is stocks, right? And if he's at 1.7 stocks, so that means his upper tail of stocks 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine on FanDuel. He's at 4,500. You can completely cut him out if you want. You saw me kind of wanting to do it there. But everybody else here, except for Claxton, who I am going to unclick as well, I'm worried about his minutes, and even without minutes, I just don't know if he can stay on the floor versus Denver. You know what I mean? So I actually did I add that rule? Yeah, Claxton Clowney. So I'm way more on the Clowney side of this, and I think it's an unclick of Claxton because now that I'm seeing people are projecting him for 28 minutes, I think it's more like 24. So that's just a no-go for me at 16% ownership on a slate this size. We got plenty of options. Yes, I can see it killing me. He's not being unclicked for the reasons that I just introduced, right? All these guys, including Claxton, if he's unlimited, can be slate breakers. I just don't think he's going to be unlimited today. I wouldn't unlimit him. I've seen his history of injury. But yeah, oh yeah, go ahead, run up against Jokic for freaking 30 minutes. No, it's not going to happen. All right. I mean, I'm fine dying on that hill today. Okay, so what other hills did we have that we were dying on? Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. Slow-mo, I don't understand 16, 17% slow-mo. He's an amazing play. Play him. I mean, he's going to get a ton of minutes. And, I mean, because we've already got, this is assuming, so Wiggins is doubtful. If Wiggins is out, yeah, fire him up. I don't understand 17%. This is in a world where they're assuming he's out. So he's just, if that's the value, that's the value. Of the leverage or whatever. Zion, same deal. All these guys who I'm on are just underprojected for minutes by the industry, in my opinion. So that's why I'm on all these guys. We've already talked about it as well. Hawkins is another guy, 5 minutes light. You can't project. Oh, he's up to 25 now. Still, I mean, what do you get? I mean, I have this. I pulled this up earlier. I got Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas minutes is way too low. Just that's how I got the whole Brooklyn minutes. So then Cam, wait, no. Jordan Hawkins stats. 34 minutes last game. It was a blowout or whatever, but I mean, like, if he's going to get the blowout time, that's fine. Okay, so then, oop. Huh. Okay, so then, up. Hmm. Well, do. Let's go on to DraftKings. Do a better job of removing communications with students from possible tabs. This is the danger of having a zillion tabs open. Okay. Anything different really on DraftKings? I don't see anything really that different. I guess Moody's your guy more than what's his name? With slow-mo was maybe more the play for the money on FanDuel or early on it looked like. I think Moody's more the play on DraftKings. Same set of rules. Um, just pricing wise, I'm guessing, yeah, 3,600. Yeah, that's the deal. Moody getting good minutes, good point per minute. Play Moody. Um, Kyle Anderson's still getting there. I mean, it's just that, he's not, you don't need quite as much of him. A lot of, yeah, did I boost Keontae George enough on the other side? I'm not sure. But Keontae George definitely in play. All these Utah guys are a little bit light for minutes, but I'm not quite sure exactly where to go because it just they're in a weird little situation there with Hendricks having just gotten hurt, and we're not really sure exactly how they're going to start. So this is a place where you'll definitely want to be late swapping before that 6 o'clock game for sure. And again, when you get starters at 6:30. So those are the two I think main big late. Yeah, I mean those are the only two swap times. So do all the swap times. It's like we always say. Let's see about my negatively leveraged plays, just because I always like to say that. Oh yeah, PJ Washington, another guy about 5 minutes light. So I'm going to get 10x the field with almost none of him. Love those kinds of plays. Oh, negative leverage though. The guys I'm going to tell you to pile on. Hate for a little bit high pricing for Antman tonight. So I'm okay with not. He's going to be. I assume what would we do? We would put Kyrie on him or somebody. He's gonna have a decent defender. And anyway, 5 to 15%. If y'all are gonna be 30%, you can have him. That's fine with me. Podz, he's fine. It's just that y'all are running it up like there's not options, and they've got a bunch of dudes that can still run 11 out there. It's one of my biggest worries for the slate. So totally fine with fading a massively chalk Golden State guy. Insert name who doesn't matter. Yes, I like. I mean, like how many minutes has he played this year? Like we're probably projecting him for 31. Has he played 31 minutes to this year? Podz stats. Thank you for spelling that right, the internet. 25, 25, 25. 25, 25, 25. 31. Okay. I think 25 might be a choice, guys. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think and granted, that choice is with Steph Curry in, or it's a choice based on his age and how they want to bring him along off the bench. Now, granted, we are expecting him to start now. I don't really. I mean, like, I think that's a spot where if you wanted to yeah, uh, either jam a bunch of him and then be ready to swap, or plan for other guys on the team to start, you could get some edge there. Because let's look at this Golden State projection for minutes. We've got Podz for the absolute most minutes on the team, Healed for the second most minutes on the team. And if there's ever been something I am super worried about, it is Healed for the second most minutes on the team. If he misses his shots, you're dead. So he's a max 15 play for me because I've I've played him before, guys. I know the situation. I'm familiar with his game, as Shaq likes to say. And similarly, I'm familiar with slow-mo. Like you give him 20 minutes, he's going to score 20 points. Like it's going to be gross. It's going to be like 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, maybe a point. I mean, I assume that's what these projections say over here. Yeah, but I mean, it's just way we've got him at like 15%. You got Looney at 1.5% today. Oh, okay. I mean, like I'm gonna play him. Yeah, granted, he got there in garbage time last time. It's pretty unlikely that he gets there, with 5 rebounds in the last 2 minutes again. I noticed that that's how he got there. But he's still the backup five to TJD. So if they do decide to go big, it's him. Now, I don't think it's like a big chance that they go big and that TJD gets in foul trouble, but TJD is guarding a non-trivial guy on New Orleans. Either we've got who is Zion, right? I mean, one of them's got to guard Zion. That guy could get in foul trouble. If that guy gets in foul trouble, who comes off the bench? They can't go small. Can't go small against Zion. Hey, I figured it out. I cracked the case, guys. Can't go small against Zion. That's the case. The case has been solved. Um, yeah. So, yeah. If you go small against Zion, you're familiar with what he likes to do. It's dunk on you really hard. So, he hopes you go small against him. But I do not think that you would try that. I think you would try to run out Looney for a stupid amount of minutes that are roughly ineffectual, but getting the job done on defense. So that's my thought is you're going to have TJD I mean, Draymond is out there too, but that's also not going to work out well in my opinion. What kind of minutes do we have for him? 28 minutes. What's Draymond's minutes? Draymond Green stats 27 minutes is his most, 20 and 20. 27, 20 and 20. So like Draymond 28. Okay, that's definitely an upside. I'm going to put him back at his median, which is I think he goes out there for like 24 minutes, even in a competitive game, because gets in foul trouble, gets tossed. There's a number of reasons for Draymond specifically, but also is not firmly one of the top 5 guys on this team. Like in this mix, Draymond is much more easy to play on this team in the last 5 minutes of a game if you also have Steph. Because you don't care that Draymond can't do anything offensively, because Steph can do everything offensively. So all he has to do is set one screen and you're good. You don't have that anymore. You got to have guys who have at least marginal offensive ability. And this is me saying that Looney has that above Draymond. And yeah, it's right. And that's too bad for Draymond. But It's because Looney can dunk it like over pretty much anybody on the like even Zion if he's out of position. So that's what I'm saying is you still have some ability to do a pick and roll with Looney where you don't have that with Draymond at all. And so even offensively, I just think he's going to this team. There's not really much of a place for Draymond. They need shooters out there right now. They need them, and so that's why I'm phasing him out. Also, well, gosh, I see you guys 2.7%. Y'all are way ahead of me on this. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if everybody's phasing him out, maybe I phase him in. I thought that this was going to be a tough fade, guy. All right, well, enough of this. Enough talking about this. If Draymond's really 2.7%, I'm playing Draymond, okay, right? I mean, like I thought he was like 27%. But wish I had better ownerships. Don't really believe it's going to be 2.7%. Going to check around on that. But that's all I really got for today, guys. So I'm going to call it there as a remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us.